What's going on, Jab Jab Talk Nation? It's your boy Ozeal. I have to do this. This is it. This is the official prediction video of the mega super fight coming up 2 days away. Ladies and gents, the big fight that we all been excited, been waiting for between Gervonta, Tank Davis, and the King, Ryan Garcia. So, this video, we're going to talk a little bit about just kind of a little bit of background, break it down, and of course, the official prediction. And as always, if you're just tuning in to the Jab Jab Talk YouTube channel, please comment down below. Let me know your prediction. Give me your take. We have a lot of people who give a lot of insightful comments and opinions. You know who you are, my people, and I appreciate that. So it also, of course, if this is your first time checking out the Jab Jab Talk YouTube channel, subscribe. We're on a road to 100 subs by the end of April. We're currently at 34 wins, no losses. I'm sure we got a couple of dislikes already. It's all good. Hey, listen, it's all good because this is all about the road. This is all about the journey. Sharing with everybody who subscribed to the YouTube channel. I appreciate you. And of course, again, if you're all about boxing, if you're passionate about boxing as I am, please hit subscribe, hit the notification button. I'm going to be doing some future live streams. And of course, videos like this, you'll be notified once we go live. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about the fight. I believe today, and I'm recording this on Thursday, so the big fight is this Saturday, April 22nd. And they're going to be doing some weigh-ins, I think today, and then tomorrow is the official weigh-in. And then, of course, the big fight on Saturday. So let's go ahead and talk about the big fight. I'm excited. I don't know about you, but I'm really, really excited about this fight. Last month, we had the big fight between Benavidez and Caleb Plant. That was one of the most anticipated fights as well of the year. Now we got Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis going at it for the big clash, which is, again, a fight that we've all, as boxing fans, been waiting for. All right, so enough talking. All right, enough talking. Let's get to the fight. Jab Jab Talk Nation. Let's break it down here. Just some background information. I'm going to go quick with this, right? We all know the champ himself, Gervonta Davis. He is at 28-0, 26 knockouts, 92% knockout rate percentage. The man can punch. He can knock you out. And we all know that. We've been following Tank Davis. He can punch. He can knock you out. He can lose rounds. And then just that one punch is the equalizer, just like that. And that's what makes Tank Davis special, among other things, right? Let's talk about Davis's last fights, 5 fights. So his last fight was against undefeated fighter Hector Luis Garcia, 16-0. Won by knockout, TKO in the 9th round. He beat Rolly Romero, also 14-1. He beat him also by knockout in the 6th round. Isaac Cruz, he won that. I think it was I'm not sure if it was a split decision or not. That was a close fight. It was actually a unanimous decision. It was a close fight. I don't know. Some people said that he pulled it off. But I'll tell you what, Isaac Cruz made it very, very competitive, made it very difficult for Gervonta Davis, and took him to 12 rounds and made it really, really interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight again. We'll see. But Isaac Cruz, he beat Isaac Cruz, and then, of course, the fight before that, Mario Barrios, who he knocked out in the 11th round, TKO, and then Leo Santa Cruz knocked out in the 6th round. So listen, he's fought some competitive fighters, and that was his last fights. And, let's talk about a little bit about Davis. He is coached by Calvin Ford, who I like. When I see interviews with Calvin Ford, he's such this, just slick, cool, Mr. Cool coach. He's somebody that I wouldn't mind interviewing on this YouTube channel. He's very insightful, very passionate, very respectful, he's a man of class. Just a big fan of the way he just conducts himself as a coach, like a professional. And of course, he raised, Gervonta Davis and really coached him to superstardom, and I feel like he's done a great job protecting him, obviously coaching him to his success. and he's just a really great coach. So Calvin, Mr. Ford, if you ever see this, got a lot of respect for you. Let's talk about Gervonta Davis and some of the things that really stand out. A few things, right? He obviously has more experience fighting bigger opponents. I listed out, Barrios, who was a champ, went up weight. Leo Santa Cruz, also another competitor, former champ. He fought, Isaac Cruz, which was no walk in the park, strong competitor. Rolly Romero, who, Rolly, I didn't see him as a competitor. He was a big puncher, which made the fight interesting. There was a lot of trash talk, which I think that was pretty much what sold the fight. Was he a competitor? I never saw that. I just thought that it was more of a entertaining fight more than anything else that sold. But Gervonta Davis took the fight on and obviously won that hands down. And then of course with Hector Luis Garcia, who I hadn't really heard of too much. I know he used to train with Robert Garcia before, but the fight was interesting in the first few rounds, and we saw how that ended up. So he's fought some competitors in the last 5 fights. I think one of the things that makes Davis so special, aside from fighting bigger opponents, is that he definitely knows how to box. He knows how to stalk. Obviously, he's a big puncher, and he's the type of fighter that he remains poised. He can lose some rounds, and then Coach Ford will say, "Hey, it's time to pick it up," and he snaps it back on and flips that switch, and then he ends up taking the KO. That's what makes Tank special. I think he has a lot of athletic attributes, but he's talented, and again, he stays poised and doesn't get overwhelmed with what's happening, and then he ends up getting the job done, right? So that is a little bit about Gervonta Davis. Let's talk about Ryan Garcia, all right? Let's kind of give a little quick breakdown of Ryan Garcia. All right, so his last 5 fights, his last fight was against Javier Fortuna. Okay, he won that fight by knockout. And then he fought, before that, Emmanuel Tagoa. Never heard of him. Unanimous decision. I remember that fight was challenging for Garcia due to styles, but he ended up winning that fight. Luke Campbell, we all know about this big fight where he got knocked down. Ryan Garcia brushed himself off and ended up finishing the fight, knocking out Luke Campbell by TKO. And then before that was Francisco Fonseca, and then Romero Duno. So he's had some pretty impressive fights. He's had to face, some adversity with the Luke Campbell fight, a different style with Emmanuel Tagoa, I believe, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And, and of course, Javier Fortuna, who's again, no walk in the park. He was probably one of the most competitive fights that he had, along with Luke Campbell, who was a former Olympian. He was a champion. So, he's definitely fought some competition, no doubt about it, and he's coached by the legendary Joe Goosen. And, Joe Goosen, he's coached, the late, great Diego Corrales, rest in peace. The Ruelas brothers, who remembers the Ruelas brothers, Gabriel and Rafael, who I was a big fan of. Some of you may or may not know, but I've been a boxing fan for a minute now, over 20 years. And I remember watching Gabriel Ruelas and Rafael Ruelas fight, and I was a big fan of what they did. Champions, both of them, great, talented fighters. Every fight was entertaining. I love watching them. Joe Goosen trained them. And of course, Michael Nunn, Riddick Bowe, Malik Scott. I mean, he has a good roster of champions and fighters that been in the top 10. So Joe Goosen is the man. Aside from everybody, he's a very stylish trainer, by the way. He's just, he's one of those sharp dressed classic men, that you normally don't see. You really don't see a lot of coaches dressing that way, but I like the way, once again, just both of them, not only is this fight like super fights, but both of these fighters have like classic, legendary, just class acts. of coaches. We got Calvin Ford, stylish, cool as a cucumber. You got Joe Goosen, also cool as a cucumber, legendary, lots of experience. So, I mean, this is, this fight makes it even more interesting because they both have great coaches. Definitely no competitive edge there. Although Joe Goosen has a little bit more experience training champions, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what type of advice and how Joe Goosen has prepped Ryan Garcia in adjusting his style. Not adjusting completely, but making some adjustments to be able to get a win against Tank. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Ryan Garcia comes out of this fight with this. All right, so let's talk about, so I gave you definitely a breakdown of the last fights. And by the way, I'm just kind of looking at some notes here. I want to make sure I don't ramble on because I can go on and on about this fight, y'all, because, I mean, I'm really, really excited. And again, I'm going to pause here. After this is over, go down below, drop a comment, let me know what you think of the fight, and definitely give me your prediction between Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. All right. I digress. Let's break it down even more. Okay. This is it. This is it, y'all. All right. Let me just get right to it, okay? Let me get right to it because I can go on and on about this, but let me get right into this. And I don't really want to talk about strengths or weaknesses. I'll kind of sprinkle a few of those as I break down my prediction. But here's my take on this. Garcia is physically, bigger. He has the longer reach. He definitely has, the infamous, left hook. He's fast. And I want to say that he's more flashier in his training month, whenever he's training and, he's doing all this. And, he's a fast fighter. Don't get me wrong. But when you see him in the boxing ring, he doesn't appear to be, at full speed. He's more of a snappy puncher, definitely fast. He can whip up that jab. And he, no doubt about it, speed is on his side. Okay. Now, I think the question is going to be this. Does Garcia have the boxing abilities? Let me repeat. Does Garcia have the boxing abilities and the ring IQ at this phase of his boxing career to outbox and beat Gervonta Davis? Does he have that ability to earn the respect of Davis in the early rounds to have Davis change his game plan a bit? If he can do this, if he can stay calm, cool, and collective during the big moments of the fight, let's say he hurts Davis early on, right? Can he keep his composure and stay disciplined? That's going to be key for Ryan Garcia to win the fight. Okay? Composure, discipline. We know that he can punch, but does he have the other variable factors to be able to pull off this win? And I think that is the question here. And I think that it's going to be really interesting to see, once again, going back to, the coaching by Joe Goosen, how he comes into the first few rounds. Now, Davis has been known to start slow, but I have a feeling, and you may have to come back to this because I'm giving my prediction. I may be right on this. Who knows? We'll see. I have a feeling that when that round first bell rings, I have a feeling that Ryan's going to keep his distance. He's going to be very, very cautious. But I will not be surprised, my Jab Jack Talk people, that Gervonta Davis sets and just throws one just to set the tone. I wouldn't be surprised if he just throws one out there. He has said in interviews that he's going to start faster this time. I think that he's probably going to throw one just to see what happens, just to check Ryan, just to see whether or not Ryan is awake, just to let him know, look, my man, I'm the real king. of the castle here. I'm the one who's going to take over. And just let him know. I would not be surprised if Davis throws the first punch and makes it one that counts. Would not be surprised. Let me know. I may be wrong. I may be wrong. Listen, these are just opinions, but I may be wrong. But I will say that I have a feeling that he's going to want to make a statement early. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what Ryan Garcia does with this fight. A lot of people are saying that it's a 50-50 fight. I don't know. Jab, jab, talk. Let me know. Is it a 50-50 fight? And I think people are, I'm going to say the word glamorizing, but they're really like on this like infamous left hook power punching, Ryan Garcia train, that they look at this as a 50-50 fight. Now, I will say even boxers that he sparred do give a lot of respect to Ryan Garcia. His pedigree is deep. There's no doubt about it. The dude has earned it. I mean, he's not like, he had over 200, amateur fights. I think 215, over plus. I think when he had 15 losses when he signed with Golden Boy. So again, he does have a resume of amateur experience, and he has, he has beaten some competitive fighters out there. No doubt about it. I think, is he quite primed? Is he ready to take on Gervonta Davis at this season of his boxing career? I don't know. I would have loved to probably see him fight maybe 2 more like top competitors and then take on Gervonta Davis. But we're not there because the fight is on. The fight is on this Saturday, okay? And we're going to find out whether or not he is ready. And I believe, and that's one thing I got to, Ryan, if you ever watch this little YouTube channel, ever watch this video, I will say that Ryan Garcia, we got to respect Ryan Garcia. Let's go ahead and put away all the, big social media, and he's an influencer, and he's not the real deal. He's a pretty boy, yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, he's lacing them up. He's fought champions, former champions, okay? He has the amateur pedigree, and he wanted this fight. Even the tank camp. Ryan Garcia wanted the fight. So, that pretty boy is obviously going to put on his big boy pants and go against the tank, period. Okay? Let's just be real there. He's going to fight the big fight. And he wants Tank right now. Ahorita. He wants him. He's not going to wait till later. He didn't want to take the tuna fight. He says, I want to go right into Tank. Got to respect that. Gotta respect that. So, listen, people say it's a 50-50 fight. Again, and let me know what you think, but, Ryan Garcia definitely is talented. He has tools, the infamous left hook to be able to take out the Tank. But will he be composed, poised? Does he have the boxing IQ to win this fight? And I think the keys to victory is going to be for him to establish some type of authority early on. And he's got to get into the boxing mode. Like, I think that if he decides to go for a tick for tack type of approach with Tank, sure, he has the punching power to knock out Tank, but I think because of the experience, the edge will go to Tank if they get into a firefight. My opinion. I think that, Tank does have the advantage because he's been there before, And yes, granted, he hasn't fought big punchers, but he fought like aggressive, in-your-face punchers like Isaac Cruz. Romero also can crack. And then he's fought like Mario Barrios, who kind of also try to stay on the outside and box. Same thing with Garcia. So he's fought different styles, but I think with Garcia, if Garcia could box and can keep his distance and use his jab, the jab is going to be key. The jab is going to be key for Ryan Garcia to win this fight. If he thinks that he's going to just throw that infamous left hook every now and then and take the shot, that's not going to be enough to take out the Tank. he's going to have to use some boxing abilities. And he's going to have to put on that hat for the bulk of the fight. Because unless you box and use some body shots to slow down the Tank, it's going to be tough to beat him. Okay? You're going to have to surprise him. So Garcia's going to have to do something different that nobody else has done. And I think he's going to have to utilize his punching power to slow him down using body punches, but also that jab. That jab has to be snappy, which he has, and has to be on point to be able to just keep him afar. And then when he comes in, lateral movements and just bop, 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 he's going to have to build some combinations and really, get his output out for sure. He just can't wait, And sometimes I've seen Ryan Garcia, some of the fights where I feel like he doesn't throw a lot of volume. He'll throw, some combinations, but he's gonna have to throw a little bit more. He's gonna be a little bit more like snappy with the jab. I think that's gonna be key for Ryan Garcia to win this fight. So again, can he stay composed in the big moments is pretty much the big question that I have for Ryan Garcia, which makes this fight interesting, just to see how Joe Goossen is prepping his mind and what the fight strategy is going into this big fight. The key to victory for Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis. Look, Tank is Tank, He's poised. He hits hard. He can stalk. He can box. He has no problem with taller fighters. So one could say, hey, Ryan Garcia is a little taller. That could be a problem. He's fought taller fighters. Mario Barrios was one of them. And he's a pretty, he's a short guy in his division. So for the most part, all the fighters in the fight are going to be maybe a tad bit taller than him. But it's not a problem with Tank, because I think his equalizer is his boxing abilities, and his punching power is definitely the grand equalizer. So I do feel like he does have all the skills to take out Rank. I was trying to combine Ryan with Tank. See what I did there? To knock out Garcia. And I think that's going to be one of those things where it's going to be interesting to see what Tank does. Again, I feel like he's going to try to set the tone. I think he's going to try to let Garcia know who's boss early on. And I think that suits him well. I think if he instills some fear in Garcia and chin checks him early on, I think it's going to change Garcia's game plan a little bit. And I think it's going to give Tank the more confidence to kind of go in and bulldoze him and just take him out. So, again, it goes back to what I was saying. Garcia has to box. He's going to have to fight smart, stay composed, and box. Because Tank is going to come. And I think Tank will probably gun for him. I think Tank is going to try to knock him out early, frankly. And I think Tank respects Ryan Garcia's punching power and his abilities. But I think once he warms up early on, I think the more he kind of checks the temperature early on, I think the quicker the knockout will come. So, Tank just needs to do Tank. We've seen him fight with different fighters. And I want to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are saying that Garcia is special. Hey, I'm going to say this right now. All right. Jab, Jab, Talk Nation. I'm going to keep it real with you, because we were talking about how we're going to keep it candid and raw. I don't see it. I don't see that special thing that people see in Ryan Garcia. And I know people are saying 50-50 fight. They've been in the ring. I know. Does he have some talent? Does he have, skills? No doubt. I just don't see the it factor. I mean, to be quite frank, he doesn't have the it factor like Oscar De La Hoya had it. I think Oscar De La Hoya had the it factor. I think, I grew up watching Oscar De La Hoya. He was a very entertaining, super talented fighter. And I believe he had more skills than Ryan Garcia. And has more skills than Ryan Garcia. I don't see it in Garcia. I just don't see the bounce. I don't see the boxing. Again, there's a lot of defensive flaws. And that would be the question going into it. That's why I don't see it as a 50-50 fight. If he had some defense and had some boxing, saw something that I could see that could really make it difficult for Tank, then I would say special. So I just don't see it. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I'm excited just because they're both undefeated, right? There's a lot of hype. Garcia obviously has a social hype. Golden Boy has done a great job marketing him. and and he's they kind of primed him to fight fighters to get him into undefeated. But again, that's the reason why I think it would have been nice to see him fight other like undefeated more competitors, so we can really see like, okay, he's ready to fight the big names like Gervonta Davis. But again, respect to Garcia for taking on this big fight. So, woo. That being said, okay, let me get right to it. Hopefully you guys are still with me. I'm vibing. There should have been a live stream because I feel like there's a lot for me to say, but I'm trying to give you guys a analysis, and I'm gonna give you my official prediction, official fight prediction. You probably already know. Listen, I think in the beginning, in the first few rounds, I think it'll be like much like they're gonna play chess. I think especially Garcia. Garcia's gonna be very, very cautious. I feel like he's gonna try to hit, maybe move, and he's gonna have to box. And I think we're gonna see a little bit of that. Don't see him being really aggressive. I do see Tank being a little bit more aggressive. Tank will also be, I think it'll be a chess match in the beginning, just because I do feel like they're gonna fill each other out. They both respect each other's power. But I do feel in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, I think we'll see Tank turn it up. I think we'll see Tank tag Garcia with some pretty big shots in the early rounds. I think Garcia will probably maybe change his tactics a little bit, maybe go more on the defense, sacrificing the offense. And I think Tank will start pouring in on the bigger punches until he catches one. If Garcia fights a smart, composed, disciplined fight with boxing involved, he has a great chance of winning this fight. He does. He does. Just much like if I saw another talented boxer with those type of abilities, that's the type of fighter that could beat Tank, fearless but composed boxer, much like a Devin Haney type of fighter. I think that'll be something that could be very competitive for Tank. I don't see it in Garcia. He may prove us, me, wrong. I think it'll be it'll be an upset, frankly. It'll be I know some people, even experts, are saying that I wouldn't be upset. It wouldn't be an upset or a shocker if he wins. I do feel like that because I just haven't seen it in his last 5 fights. I mean, not to the level of Davis. Now, if he's fought some other top competitors and other champions, then it may be a different story. But we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it yet. So I think Garcia has a lot to prove. I think that this could be a great opportunity for Garcia to prove to the boxing world that he is the real deal, that he is up there. I mean, if he beats Davis, he's the man, and he'll gain a lot of respect from the Haneys and the Shakur Stevensons and everybody in the lightweight division. They gotta be alarmed, just like everybody knows the deal when it comes to the Tank. But until we see that on Saturday, Tank is still the man. Tank is still the man. And, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I believe that Tank will defeat Ryan Garcia this Saturday, April 22nd. I think he'll knock him out in the 8th round, is what I'm predicting. And I think he'll finish Garcia out. I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited. We just don't know what to see. We know what Tank's gonna bring. We see but we don't know what Garcia's gonna bring. And I think that is the question. That is the question, to see what's gonna happen with that. But my prediction, Jab Jab Talk Nation, is that Gervonta Davis at 8, it will be a knockout. We won't see a 12-round decision. We saw it against Isaac Cruz, but Isaac Cruz was durable. He was just a different kind of fighter. And even Tank in numerous interviews said he was just a different fighter. He's just one of those fighters that just tough as nails. And those are the special, type of fighters that will take even the biggest punchers to the very end. I don't see it with Garcia. I really don't. And again, I think that Tank will pour on and put the arsenal on him and take him out. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this is what makes boxing so interesting, is that you never know. And if Garcia shows up in a different light and brings in different elements to his boxing game and showcases that on Saturday, April 22nd, we could see the real king, the real king, rise and be the one to beat. So I'm excited, y'all. Let me know in the comment section once again your prediction. Let me know if you agree, you disagree, who's in a knockout. As a matter of fact, just go ahead and just say who's gonna win and by what, like decision, by knockout, and what round. So let me know in the comment section down below. As always, this was fun. I know it's been a minute since I've done one of these videos. I've done some shorts. I've been really busy with life and doing other things, but I'm a boxing fan, die hard. It's the reason why I started this YouTube channel. So I'm able to get in front of the camera and talk about my predictions and share my love, my passion for boxing with all of you. I'll be ordering some chicken wings and give myself a drink, and I'll be in front of the TV watching all the boxing fights. And who knows, I may go live, I may do a live stream. We'll see. Lately, the boxing fights have been ending kind of late. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to see if I can do a live stream afterwards. If not, definitely I'll be doing a post. No doubt about it. I'm going to be doing a post fight analysis after the fight is over. Who knows? Let's see if I'm right. We'll see. I'm not a betting man, but we'll see if this prediction has been right. I was pretty dialed in with Benavidez and Plant. I think I predicted Plant Benavidez in 11 rounds. I think the 11th round. Did I say that? Or 10? Not sure, but I think it was like 1 round off. Anyhow, all right, guys, this is it. Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis this Saturday, April 22nd. Please go out there. Don't live stream this. Let's go ahead and support boxing. I will say this. Live streaming, everybody's been guilty of doing it before, right? But, let's support boxing, and if you can order the fight. I think this is going to be a fight that you definitely don't want to stream and get all that lagging. I think this is a fight that you want to watch it on a big screen TV with friends, family, popcorn, beer, whatever you like, and enjoy this fight. So enjoy the fight this Saturday. Jab Jab Talk Nation, thank you again for tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? Subscribe and share it. I'm going to create some social links on Twitter. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that before Jab Jab Talk on Twitter. I'm going to do that before the fight, so that way we can go ahead. I'll be tweeting about it and sharing my thoughts. So I may do that before this is launched. So we'll see. But go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so. Jab Jab Talk, and then I will see you soon post-fight, maybe even earlier. We will see, but I'll be around, and we'll be jabbing a little bit more about boxing. All right? Enjoy the fight. I'll see you soon, guys. Peace, one love. Thanks for the support.